Hola clase, esta noche vamos a aprender los pronombres personales de sujeto en español. Make sure that you title your notes in your cuaderno interactivo los pronombres personales de sujeto. This means subject pronouns. So these are subject pronouns in Spanish. You probably know that a pronoun is a word that takes the place of a noun. So for instance, instead of saying, Mike goes to the movies and Mike sees his friends, I would maybe say Mike goes to the movie and he sees his friends. It's just a way of replacing the noun so you don't have to constantly say Mike, 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 Mike. So first thing we're going to talk about is the subject pronoun yo. Yo means I in Espanol. We already know that because we say yo soy quite a bit already. Aquí está un ejemplo. Here's an example. Yo soy Mateo, which means I am Mateo. The second pronoun we're going to talk about is tú. Make sure you have an accent on your you in tú. Otherwise, it changes meaning and means your. Tú means you, informal. Un ejemplo es, tú eres de Costa Rica. You are from Costa Rica. Now this is what I mean by familiar. You use it to talk to someone that you feel very comfortable with, someone that you are familiar with. For instance, when talking to a friend, a family member, another student, someone who's your age or younger, someone you would classify as not being of authority, someone that you don't need to pay that extra respect to. The next pronoun we're going to talk about is él. Make sure you have an accent on your E in él. Él means he in Espanol. Now think about why it's so important that we need an accent. The reason is if we don't have an accent, él means what? It means the, like el libro. That's why it's very important that you remember your accent in E. Aquí está un ejemplo. Él es mi mejor amigo, que significa he is my best friend. Our next pronoun that goes along with he would be ella. Ella means she in español. Por ejemplo, me gusta pasar tiempo con ella. I like to spend time with her. Here's when things get a little tricky. Usted. Usted means you formal. So tú is familiar, usted is formal. Por ejemplo, usted es mi profesora. You are my teacher. Here's when we use usted. You use it when talking to someone who's an authority figure, someone older. Basically, how I like to think of it is someone you would refer to as a ma'am or a sir. So if you would say yes ma'am, no ma'am to this person, then they're probably going to be considered an usted. It's just a more polite and formal way of saying you. Now let's talk about nosotros. We have nosotros, and nosotras. Let's talk about the difference between these two in a second. Nosotros and nosotras both mean we. Por ejemplo, nosotros hablamos español, meaning we speak Spanish. Now here I used nosotros if I'm talking about these people down here. This would be nosotros. We. The reason is because there are both girls and there are boys. So it's a mixed crowd. So if I wanted to say we, and I'm referring to myself and my brother, I would say nosotros. Now let's say I want to talk about what me and my best friend Stephanie did this weekend. We're both chicas, so I'm going to say nosotras. Nosotras fuimos a la playa. We went to the beach. That's the difference between nosotros and nosotras. So think to yourselves, all you boys who are watching this video, will you ever say the word nosotras? No, because you're a boy. One boy in that group taints it all. And now you are now nosotros and never be nosotras. Vosotros is the same idea. It could be vosotros or vosotras. Vosotros and vosotras both mean y'all in the familiar. So if I'm talking to two boys, I would say vosotros, you all. If I'm talking to a boy and a girl, I'm going to use vosotros because I have a boy. He taints the group. I have to say vosotros, you all. If I'm talking to two girls, now I can say vosotras, again, which means y'all. Aquí está un ejemplo. As you can see, I've got my boy and I've got a girl. So I have to address them as vosotros. So un ejemplo es, vosotros sois mis amigos. Y'all are my friends. Let's take some notes about vosotros as well. Vosotros is only used in Spain. So in Latin America, you don't need to use vosotros. You're going to use something called ustedes, which we're going to talk about in a second. Again, you use this when you were talking to a group of people that you would normally refer to as a tú. So let's say, me as the teacher, I'm talking to Jimmy and Teresa. I would address Jimmy as a tú. You need to study. Tú necesitas estudiar. And I would talk about Teresa as a tú. You need to study also. Tú también necesitas estudiar. So if I wanted to say to both of them, y'all need to study, I would use vosotros. Vosotros necesitáis estudiar. Our next pronoun is ellos. Ellos means they, for a masculine group of guys or a mixed group of people. Por ejemplo, ellos estudian italiano. They study Italian. I'm not talking to them where I'd say ustedes or vosotros. I'm talking about them. They. Remember that pronouns replace the noun. So instead of saying, Mark and Judy go to the cafeteria, then Mark and Judy eat their food, then Mark and Judy go to class, I would say, Mark and Judy go to the cafeteria, then they eat their food, then they go to class. That's when I would use ellos. Now let's talk about ellas. Ellas means they for a feminine group of people, meaning a group of girls or women. Remember, you can't have any boy in the group. If I have 600 girls in my auditorium that I'm talking to, and one boy, that one boy taints the whole group, and I have to refer to them as ellos. Aquí está un ejemplo. Ellas son graciosas. They are funny, and I'm talking about this group of women. Let's talk about the pronombre ustedes. We know that usted means you, formal, so obviously ustedes means y'all, formal. Now, let's talk a little bit about vosotros. Remember how vosotros is only used in Spain when you want to say familiar people, y'all? Well, then that means that we don't have a way of saying y'all in Latin America. So we say ustedes for a group of people in Latin America. It doesn't matter if it's a bunch of people you refer to as tú, or if it's a bunch of people that you need to be more formal and respectful towards. So again, this is Latin America's only way of saying y'all, and it's talking to a group of people, obviously, saying you all. This pronoun doesn't matter if you're talking to a group of men or women or mixed. Ustedes is for everyone. Por ejemplo, ustedes ven mucha televisión. Y'all watch a lot of TV. You're going to hear this expression a lot. They're called six-packs. So let's talk about six-packs of pronouns. We're going to need to know about six-packs for several reasons. We're going to need to know how to form a six-pack for something like conjugating, which we're going to start pretty soon. But first we need to know where on a six-pack we place our pronouns. This is very important. So, we have six main pronouns. Yo, tú, él, nosotros, vosotros, ellos. Now, I've left off some, obviously, like ella, usted, but this is how we know how to conjugate. This is how we form a chart in order to conjugate correctly. So first, we're going to start with yo. Yo always goes right here in the top left corner. Then we've got tú. Then finally we have él, ella, and usted. All fit in this little box. Up here we have nosotros and nosotras. Here we have vosotros and vosotras. And finally, we have ellos, ellas, and ustedes. What's cool when you look at this is the singular side, and this is the plural side. This is the singular form of the pronoun on this side, and this is the plural form of the pronoun on that side. So yo, meaning I, become we. You, I becomes we. You becomes y'all. He becomes they for a group of guys or mixed. She becomes they for a group of girls. And usted, you, again, becomes y'all. So here's the singular side, and here's the plural side. Por favor, clase, repite. Yo, tú, él, ella, usted, nosotros, nosotras, vosotros, vosotras, ellos, ellas, ustedes. Adiós, clase. Hasta mañana.